Oh, this should be interesting. Theodore from Vancouver, serial caller to all the talk shows.
Well, yeah, I like to call talk shows, but I was going to ask you.
Hey, Theodore. No. Before you ask me, let me ask you something. Because I heard you call Lars Larson. I heard you call.
You heard, how would you hear that?
Well, I hear because people tell me. I know Lars. I've been on Lars's show.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Theodore. Tell me a little about yourself. I mean, what kind of guy sits and does this? What you get your jollies off this or something? I'm kind of curious.
It's 9 minutes a week. I figure it's.
Oh, it's more than that. But
No,
tell me.
that's about what it is.
No, you've been holding longer than that. So tell me, Theodore. Fill in the blanks for me. How empty is your life? Seriously, tell me about yourself.
It's not empty at all. It's not empty at all. But see, now you're turning it on me. I was going to ask you
Theodore,
if you
I'm
hated
not.
doctors.
I'm not turning it on you, sir. Just answer a couple questions, and I'll let you make your points.
It's not empty, man. I just like to stir the pot.
Okay.
And I don't like Republicans at all.
Okay, I got that. And so let's fill in the blank. What do you do for a living there, Theodore? No sense to be ashamed. I mean, you don't like other people.
I'm an investor.
You're an investor. What do you invest in, Theodore?
Well, if what you said last week, let's see, I was 24 or 25 years old.
No, you sound older than that now. I realize.
I would have been still in the womb when I bought and sold short my first stock.
So clearly, you're very important. What do you invest in, Theodore?
Currently, well, my two trades last week were I bought puts on the SPY at 131, and I made 4 times my money. I also bought puts on Phillips Petroleum, and I made a lot more than that because I anticipated the crash.
Let me tell you what I'm hearing.
The 5
Theodore.
to 8% crash that
Theodore,
we had.
Let me tell you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a guy that needs to impress me with the fact
you
that he's.
You just asked me.
I'm hearing a guy. I didn't ask you if you made any money at it. I simply asked you who you are. Fill in the blanks. What I'm hearing you say is, I'm successful. Please think I'm successful, and that's a traditional liberal canard is to try to convince someone to look at you, to notice you. It is the sign of the unloved, Theodore. You didn't need to tell me that, but it's important to you that I think that you're someone who is very successful at what you do. You're smarter than other people. And that's what most liberals believe. Now, you called in today.
Nice to keep me silent, but I was going to ask you why you hate doctors and nurses. Is it because they don't know that you run your radio show out of the Texas State Mental Institution off of the payphone? Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Okay. Theodore, honestly, we have a lot of people listening, and I had been told that your act wears thin by the second call, but I didn't realize it did. Here's the deal, Theodore. You're what's called a social outcast. And talk radio is a great medium for people like you because you don't think like everyone else. You're convinced you're smarter than everyone else. And that's why you call the shows to tweak people, because the people who respond after you and the hosts who take your call, they hate you. They despise you. But for a moment, they're paying attention to you. You are a classic liberal. The misery that is your personal life, the fact that you have no friends, no one loves you, and you don't love yourself, frankly. You hate yourself, and you hate everyone around you. It's critically important to you that other people think that you are worthy, because you're not getting that. You're not getting that in life otherwise. So you call the show, you spout off a couple of things you read in some little liberal journal or on some website, and then you cackle as if you're all-knowing. But your insecurity, it seeps through. I spot your type. And you don't bother me because I know your type, and I know your type well. You're the type that is very frustrated in your personal relationships. You're the type that lashes out at the opposite sex because they don't think you're as clever as you do. But you don't speak fluent humor. I'm going to tell you, you're not very funny. You're kind of a doofus, frankly, and I feel sorry for you. So, and I wouldn't bother analyzing you if you weren't the typical white liberal in his late 40s, sitting around telling the rest of us how clever you are and all the wonderful things you've done, how everyone else is less than you and they don't understand, and sort of bouncing around from little cause to little cause and how much smarter you are than everyone else. When deep down, people like you have a deep hatred for George W. Bush, for Rick Perry, for me, for talk show hosts, because you're so much smarter than we are. And if only everybody would listen to you, they would know. You're so very smart. You have figured it all out. Except you haven't, sir. You haven't. You're dysfunctional. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to crawl back into your little hole of loneliness and unhappiness. I want you to crawl back into your little hole, and I want you to realize that you're not welcome on the show. And when you come on the show, I'm going to clown you. And I know it stings. I know it stings because I'm not going to argue politics with you. You're not worthy of that, sir. You're simply not. You don't really know what you know. You don't know what your opinion is. What you do know is that it brings you great joy to anger other people and to know that all of those listeners out there are mad at your opinion. But I'm not going to give you that. You understand me? Now listen, Theo. You're so golly gee whiz wonderful smart. You hate Republicans, and we know that. What I want you to do is I want you to realize that what you love is Sheila Jackson Lee, David Wu in his tiger suit, Maxine Waters, Eddie Bernice Johnson, Joe Biden, Harry Reid, Dingell, Conyers, Clyburn, Hank Johnson. Yeah, you and Hank Johnson can go to Guam. I hope you don't cause it to tip over. And you know who I saved for the last for you, Theodore? I saved your boy Barney the Ripper Frank. I'm going to set you and Barney Frank up on a date. I think y'all'd get along mighty fine. Mighty fine.
I just talk all the time.
That's radio for you.
Learning through conversation on The Michael Berry Show.